Welcome everyone to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Church. I'm a music producer from Northeast Ohio. I began this weekly interview series to give you different perspectives from artists, producers, engineers, and other individuals in the music industry. In each episode, we touch on not only what has helped the person succeed, but we also touch on what has shaped them into the person that they are today. I hope you're able to gain some real proven knowledge from the show, and that it helps elevate you on your own journey to success as well. Let's get into it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 307 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Today I welcomed podcaster, music curator, and overall lover and fan of music, Myke Soop, to the show. He is a Cleveland native, and he joined me today to discuss his platform, Soup's Kitchen, as well as his brand new, fairly new show, Chop It Up with Soups, which is actually where I discovered him on YouTube. I discovered his interview he did with Skyzoo a few months back, and then I started diving into all the other interviews he's done with amazing artists like Ivan Ave, Brittney Carter, and Joe from the other guys, who was just on our 300th episode not too long ago. And I really just saw, the way he interviewed artists and thought it was really incredible how he was able to just have genuine conversations with them and really just ask them very important questions and unique questions, things that I don't always hear people ask artists, especially if they're a fan of the artists. And it really resonated with me. And other than that, his music taste in general is just very similar to my own. So I ended up reaching out to him, and I wanted to interview him today. And he said this was the first time he's been interviewed on someone else's podcast. So hopefully I did a pretty good job, but we got to talk about Myke's beginnings in radio, how that led to the idea of Soup's Kitchen, and then eventually has evolved into Chop It Up with Soups, where he's interviewing all these different artists. He talked about how, he really needs to be a fan of the person's music and resonate with it to be able to interview them and have a great conversation. And then obviously putting out mixes, how he goes about chasing a feeling, which is something I've talked about a lot in music in general, as far as making music. But I thought it was interesting to hear his perspective from someone that is putting together mixes of other people's music, how it can kind of be the same thing, because at the end of the day, music is just a feeling, and if you believe in that feeling, chances are somebody else out there is going to believe in it too. And I think Myke is doing that in these mixes, but also in his platform and his brand in general. He talks about his merch, where you can get that as well. So I would recommend anyone in Northeast Ohio who is a big fan of hip-hop, soul, R&B, or just music in general, get tapped in with him. Even if you're not in Northeast Ohio, he's someone who is doing great work and doing it the right way as a real fan of music. So thank you, Myke, once again for joining me today. And as always, I hope you guys enjoy this one as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So Myke, I gotta say, man, thanks for being here. First of all, taking time out of your Thursday to join me. And you said this is your first time being interviewed, because you're usually the one being the interviewer. So happy to have you here, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. This is an honor. I'm truly blessed. Thank you for this.
Yeah.
Thank you for discovering Soup's Kitchen. That's what I did it for. I did it so people can discover music, can discover, just something different. So
yeah.
Thank you for being a part of that.
Absolutely. And I got to thank YouTube's algorithm as well for kind of putting me onto your stuff, because I think it might have known I was watching Skyzoo content, and then it showed me your
right.
Skyzoo interview. And then from there, I went down the rabbit hole. You've interviewed on Chop It Up with Soups, which is kind of the new version of what you're doing. Brittney
right.
Carter, Ivan Ave, Joe from the other guys, a lot of different people. And I saw that and I was like, this guy right here has the same type of music taste. He has to have the same type of music taste, because these are all artists that I listen to all the time. So I knew I had to reach out, and I'm glad that we're doing this. So I guess I kind of just want to take it to the beginning. You are a fellow Northeast Ohio guy in Cleveland. So are you born and raised there your whole life? Have you always been in Cleveland?
Born and raised in Cleveland.
Nice. So how do you kind of view, because I've, when I was growing up, I knew that Ohio had a pretty good music history overall. There's a lot of artists I feel are from Ohio, but they don't necessarily get their start in Ohio. They usually go elsewhere and then get big from there. Were you always like kind of looking at the local music scene in Cleveland or just the Ohio music scene in general, or did you start your taste kind of outward and then kind of work back in, or is it a mix of both?
It's a mix of both, but it's more, Cleveland music I didn't catch that vibe.
Yeah.
I wasn't, like, growing up, growing up as a kid, as a youth, I wasn't allowed to really, not that I wasn't allowed, but hip-hop wasn't I didn't grow up with hip-hop.
Yeah.
So I missed the Bone and, the MC Chill and all that. Like, I missed all of that because I had no clue. Like, my mom and dad are older, so they were R&B and, soul and blues and gospel and different things like that. They kept me away from hip-hop. So the only time I really got to listen to hip-hop is when my older cousins came around, or, watching BET, MTV, or The Box. And I was able to watch those and get my hip hop through that. Yeah. So I missed the whole Cleveland scene. It wasn't until I started on Voice It Radio with Sugar Bug, Nerve DJ, Sugar Booger, and Big Hef and Johnny O and all those guys. It wasn't really until that point in about 2013, 2014 is when I really started to pay attention to Cleveland artists. Like, I really didn't get it, and a lot of it to me was a lot of the Cleveland artists sounded like the South. Like, they sounded like something I've already heard or that I was currently listening to. So I kind of just, like, I didn't feel like Cleveland had a sound in that moment. So I was just kind of like, everybody sounded like they chasing Atlanta sound in that time. So I was just kind of like, I'm cool. I never really got into it. And then as I started going more into this podcasting, radio thing, started getting hip to a whole bunch of artists, producers and stuff like that was my vibe. And so I think the first person that I caught that was like my vibe is this guy named Koo Johnson. And Koo is like, he's a Cleveland artist, but his vibe is like just so dope. And I was like, okay, so Cleveland can have that vibe that I like, because I didn't know about it. So I'm like, oh, Cleveland is cool. And then it was, producers that I knew about that, Amani Cove is one of those guys. Like, Amani Cove is like Cleveland's Dilla to me. Like, that's like his sampling and the way he cuts and the beats and the drum. Like, Amani Cove is like that guy. And I was like, okay, this is starting to really come to me now. Like, the Cleveland artists is like, we have some really dope vibes here. We have some great artists that really don't get that limelight, don't get that. They're not on the radio. They don't get that recognition that the Cleveland artists get. Yeah. And, I try to do that for my shows, try to give these guys more of a light and a platform. And I don't just play Cleveland artists also. Like, I play, if it's good, I play it. Like, that's it. Like, that's where I'm at. If it's good, I play it. And, but there's a lot of Cleveland artists that is good. I'm missing quite a few people. There's so many different dope Cleveland artists. If I didn't mention you, I'm sorry. Yeah. But, Yo Subs or Sub Z, I can't even think of everybody. It's my barber, C Mays. Like, he's an incredible MC. Like, C Mays and the crew, I interviewed them guys, and that whole crew is just like, they all from Cleveland. Like, the crazy part of C Mays is Scarface is like this. Like, they coast. Like, they cool. It is like, Cleveland has the roots, the musical roots in Cleveland go deep from, the Motown era, where a lot of artists from Motown would come to Cleveland to see if their music was hitting. Cleveland was that spot, and I didn't realize that. 55th was where all the labels were, like the record stores and labels and all, not labels, but like the where they pressed the records and stuff. 55th was all of that. So, like, a lot of artists was coming from, Detroit to see their albums and then go out into the clubs, and like, Cleveland was that musical spot. and we still are, but in a way we still are.
It's weird too, because I feel like there's a lot of people here, just in Ohio in general, because I've been discovering a lot more artists, and even Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton is a big music city as well. A lot of dope artists in the area in general, and I feel like a lot of them have like a great Midwest sound, but I feel like when people think of the Midwest sound, they're thinking of either Detroit or Chicago most of the time.
Right.
So Ohio kind of gets overlooked for one reason or another. But yeah, I'm with you. I think if you like start digging a little harder, and if because I feel like you and we are people that go digging for the music we like. We're not just gonna get force fed what everybody's telling us to listen to. I go deep within playlists. I'm looking at collaborators, the people that worked with other artists that I'm already a fan of. So I'm going on that, and I'm like, okay, well, who are these people? And let me check them out. So I feel like if people did that more with the Cleveland artists and just the Ohio artists overall, they'd probably find a lot of dope individuals, which is very interesting.
That is extremely
And you interviewed Eli the Don as well, another great Cleveland artist right there.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And I forgot that. I just talked to him. I forgot. There's so many different Cleveland artists. Like Eli, I think Eli is going to be the guy that is going to put Cleveland lyricists on the map.
Yeah.
Like, what Eli is doing right now is incredible. And the fact that he signed with one of my favorites is Knife, Jamla, is just like, okay, like, Cleveland, y'all gotta see us now. Like, y'all gotta see us for, more than, the mistake on the lake, or what they want to call it or whatever. But, it's like, y'all really got to see us now. So, like, I think, shout out to Eli. Like,
yeah, it's weird because I just got hip to him on the last Zion that Ninth Wonder put out, because he always does, like, part of the Zion albums are always EPs with an artist. So this one had Eli on, like, 4 tracks. And I was like, who is this? This is incredible. And then I found out the whole backstory, that he was from Cleveland and everything, got signed. And I was like, yeah, I had no idea about this guy, but this is amazing. So kind of going back on his back catalog too, he raps over a lot of different styles too. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see like where it goes from here. And I know he touched with you in your interview about what's to come. So it's going to be very exciting from there. But I want to get back to... Go ahead.
Real quick, what's amazing where he signed, signing with Jamla, they have the Soul Council. And they have a lot of different sounds within the Soul Council. You got Eric G, you got Knox, you got Knife, you got Crisis, you got Soundtrack. And all of those guys have a wide range of sound, and they all don't sound alike. Yeah. So what Eli can do by him already doing that, it's gonna be amazing.
I hope he works with Sweta, who signed to Jam.
Yes,
I think that would be awesome.
And he did.
Oh, he already did?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to hear that for sure, because that's gonna be an amazing collab. I know for you, because you're building a lot of like playlists and stuff like that with a lot of different types of music, and I can just tell through your interviews and through your content that you're a fan of a lot of different styles, not just hip hop, but like R&B, soul music, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
What I guess for you as a music fan, what is your criteria of saying, this is what I'm gravitating toward this month, or I'm going to include this in a mix? And I guess like, how do you go about building your mixes? Because there is an art to crafting a mix that kind of works for playing in a live setting, but also listening to it like in the car. Like, is someone going to get in the car and put this mix on their way to work? Like, how does that go for you as far as building mixes and how you're going about choosing the songs to put in?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know.
It's just random.
So, okay, for a little bit, for me, is it just has to, I have to feel it.
Yeah.
There's not a song in my playlist, in any of my playlists that I've ever played that I've never heard or listened to, or I'm not a fan of. Like, every song that I've had in my playlist from when I first started doing this till today, I listen to. Like, I listen to it and I enjoy it. And it's not a song on the list where I'm just like, I know this is popular, so let me put it in there. Like, I don't move like that. And then, you know, when it comes to playing live, like playing at the B-side, lyrical rhythms and stuff like that, I just play. Like I just play whatever I feel. I play whatever I think is gonna like make you feel something, or like I try to. Cause I'm not a DJ, so like I'm not a DJ. I want to explain that I'm not a DJ. So when I'm playing music live and I'm out, I just try to get you to listen to something that you probably never heard before. Yeah. And that's my goal. Like I want you to walk into lyrical rhythms and like, what is this? Okay, I like this. Okay, that's my goal.
Yeah. You're putting people on to different types of music too through doing that, which is the big goal, I think. So,
and that's like the goal. Like for me, it's just like if I like it, I'm going to play it. I really can't tell you like what I do. I try to keep you with my playlist. Either I'll start with hip hop and I'll keep that, and then I'll give you some instrumentals in between it, and then I'll transition it into R&B, or R&B, some instrumentals, and then end it with hip hop. And that's what I've been doing probably about the last 2 years. I've just been starting with R&B, instrumentals, and then, hip hop, and then try to make it so it's just like one smooth song where you're just gonna just click play and you don't even realize you're listening to hip hop. Yeah. Like that was my goal. Like a lot of people like R&B, and a lot of the people that were listening to Soup's Kitchen, they was like, I love your R&B sets and stuff, and they was like, I don't really care too much for the hip hop, but I know like a lot of the hip hop that I'm playing is good. Like they actually saying something. Like I don't really play. Every so often you'll hear a song here and there, you be like that, but it matches my vibe. The music, the production of it matches my vibe, but the lyrics is just like, oh, this is wild. But it's me. It's my vibe. But I've done so well with it that my mom listens to my playlist, and she like, oh, I like that Brittney Carter. I'm like, okay, so it works. So that's what I try to go for. Just press play, and then, you're not skipping around.
Yeah. Wanted to take a quick minute out of today's episode to let you guys know of a way that you can support the show, a way that you can donate some funds to us, starting at as little as $5 or more via our Ko-fi page. Now, we've been using Ko-fi now for a few years, and it's been a very effective way to generate some funds that we end up using for, future guests, sponsors, just an overall way to keep this show as quality as it has been for the last several years, and we always appreciate any and all contributions. So if you go to coffee.com/The Proven Knowledge Podcast, that's ko-fi.com/The Proven Knowledge Podcast, you can donate, like I said, $5 or more. It gives you that option to do 10, 20, 30, or just type in whatever amount. Any contributions are appreciated. And, I do this show from the bottom of my heart for the love of it at the end of the day. But those funds are always, always welcome, because they do allow us to do more and be more flexible with how we continue to grow this platform in the future. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. The link will be in the description of the show notes of this episode you're listening to now, so definitely check it out. But without further ado, let's get back into the episode. I feel like it's weird because it's almost the same approach that like an artist would have in a live performance of their own music. You're just trying to kind of build the set list based on the feeling that's within you, and then if you believe it, someone else is going to also believe in it, buy into it as well in that moment. Right. So it's like the same thing. It's just different people's songs, combining them all into one set and kind of going from there. So, but that's great. And getting that feedback, I'm sure, is the best part about like, oh, you helped me discover this artist that I had no idea about until I heard your show or I heard the mix or whatever. So that's incredible, man, and I think that's
the best part
cool to do,
is when you're playing the music live and you see them doing this.
Oh yeah,
like,
Shazam!
You see them like holding their phone up, like
trying to figure out what it is. And that's how you know they're actually listening too. Like they're actually engaged with what you're playing too. Because I feel like a lot of times you might if people are disassociating, then there's an issue. It's like, okay, well, they're not even engaged with like what is being played. So I think that's always a great sign too, to have that happen. Now I kind of want to dive into the podcasting side of things, because this is kind of how I discovered you. What is the difference between, because you Chop It Up with Soups is the one you're doing now, where you're interviewing a lot of different artists. What is the difference between that and the Soup's Kitchen show? Like, because I feel like I saw something that said you kind of transitioned from one to the other at a certain point, and now you're doing Chop It Up with Soups. So what is the difference, and what led you to kind of transition to a new version of the show?
So with what I'm doing with Chop It Up with Soups, my whole motto is more music, less talk, right? And a quick story of how I got to that. When I was doing radio, I was the engineer for Sugar Bug, Big Hef, Vanity Star, and I was behind the scenes. And there was a time they were going to South by Southwest. No, they were going to New York to the Sways. They went to Sway show, and they weren't going to be there for that Thursday. And so they asked me to fill in. And I was like, well, I don't talk. Like, I don't do current events. I don't do none of that. And it was like, yo, just play music. I was like, okay, cool. So I'm going to get to play my music. So I get to play the music that I've been asking them to play all this time. Like, y'all should play Rhapsody. Y'all should play this. Y'all should play that. And so I got my chance to play my music or whatever. And at that point, the show went, like, number one. Yeah. Like, I was the first one to go, like, number one for the show when I hosted it. And then it was a couple of months down the line, they weren't there again, and I had to host again, and that show went number one. And so the radio station was like, "Hey, we like your vibe. You should do a show. We're going to give you a show." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So they called it the Super Engineer something. I forgot what it was called. Superman show or something. I forgot what it was called. But all I did was play music, and it was like, "We need you to talk." I was like, "Nah, more music, less talk." And it stuck. And everybody was just like loving it. My show was just always going number one. I was just always going number one. And so I was like, okay, I'll do interviews here and there or whatever. And it was kind of sporadic when I did the interviews, but I mostly wanted to just play music. And so I decided to have my show on Voice of Radio, but then I also decided to just do I just made Soup's Kitchen. So Soup's Kitchen is my playlist music show. It's just straight music, no talk. And I did that because a lot of people were complaining about not being able to discover music, but they're discovering people's opinions about music. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, so there's a spot there of being able to create something that people want. So I made Soup's Kitchen. So Soup's Kitchen is my baby. Like, that's my playlist show. It's straight music, no talking. It's more music, less talk. And on the radio, I started doing more interviews. And then the radio ended, and, I did everything on my own. And I started doing Instagram interviews. So I did Skyzoo. I can't think of everybody I did, but I did I did YN Vine. I did Amani Cove. I did Rob Riley from the J. Raw's Liquid Crystal Project. Yeah. I interviewed him and a couple of other people I interviewed. And I just, the whole interview thing came about. And I was like, let me try something different. I wanted to keep Soup's Kitchen, Soup's Kitchen vibes. I wanted to keep all of that separate because my motto is more music, less talk. And I started working with other curators, Christina Curates and Mr. Goodbar, and of course, the incredible Mr. Al Pete, who produces the Chop It Up with Soup series. So we decided to create the Soul Curators, and we're doing interviews. We got a chance to interview all the foreign exchange except for Fonte, but we got a chance to interview everybody. Yeah. So it was just incredible doing all of that. And we decided to just, take a break from it and kind of just stop. When stuff started to feel like it was a job, you just is like, okay, we've had enough. So
start shifting to something else.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like with us with the Soul Curators. We was just kind of like, okay. And then I was like, well, let me just try my own thing. And Chop It Up with Soups is just me interviewing my favorite artists. Like, everybody I talk to, I'm a fan of. I can't do interviews if I don't know you.
Yeah.
If I've never heard your music or anything like that, I can't interview you. So it's like, it's really just my opportunity to really give flowers to my favorites, give flowers to the people that impacted me musically. Being able to interview Skyzoo, being able to interview Brittney Carter, like that. I've been a huge fan of Brittney Carter since the first time I heard her on the Add 2 project. I was like, oh, she's gonna be something serious. Like, and being able to give my flowers to her is just like, okay, cool. Like, my next goal is Rhapsody. Like, I want to do Rhapsody. I want to do Fonte. Like, I'm trying to get to that. And the Chop It Up brand is just that. It's just me being able to talk to these artists and just give them their flowers. Allow them to be in a space where there is no politics. There's no BS behind the interview. I'm not trying to trap you up on questions or anything like that. I just want to talk good music, just have a good conversation with you and, let it be that. And that's my goal. And hopefully one day the goal will be, bigger where I do get more artists and, get more opportunity to interview people. So.
Yeah. It's awesome, man. And it's a great way to keep it genuine, too. I can tell that in the interviews, because like I said, I've watched probably 5 or 6 of the interviews, and every single one, you come at it from a genuine place and as a real fan of their work. And I think you have that gift of kind of making the guests kind of feel at home, too, which I think is something that every host kind of aims to do. Because you're right, I feel like a lot of people, if they're asking certain type of questions, it's going to put the artist in a weird spot and kind of make them feel like uncomfortable with the rest of the interview. So I think you have that gift of being able to make people feel like they're just having that normal conversation. So I definitely think that's admirable, man. So
I appreciate that. But also, by the way, I never wanted to do this. Like, I hate this. Like, I hate being in the front. Like, I hate being in the camera. Like, I've always wanted to be behind the scenes. I never wanted to be like the person, like, in your face. Like, I just never was me.
Well, you and me both, man. Yeah, you and me both, man. Because people always ask me about my show, and I'm just like, I never thought I would be in podcasting anything. Like, it just kind of happened. And then I just kind of rolled with it, and it's been very fun. And I'm sure for you, it's like, it's great to make those connections and form those relationships in that way over something that you're both passionate about, which is music, which is super, super cool. I guess I also want to cover, because Soup's Kitchen is essentially the brand itself, right, around you.
Yes.
You're also doing merch, too, because I see you're pushing merch pretty heavily. You got the hoodie on right now. Now, they can't see the hoodie because this is audio only, but he's got an awesome hoodie on with the logo and everything. Where can people get the merch, though, if they want to support the brand and what you're doing?
So my merch is on my Instagram page. It's a link. The link tree, and it's just drop shipping.
Yeah,
it's just, it's a drop ship with my logo. And
but everything. It looks awesome. That's the point. Like, the logo looks great. Like, everything looks solid. So
they're champion hoodies. They're champion hoodies. They're Gildan t-shirts, so they're top quality.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the brand of Soup's Kitchen. I have a More Music, Less Talk. That's actually starting to go. Like, people really like that. And I really didn't realize, like, that was a thing. Like, people were like, oh, I love that. Like, it'd be old ladies in the store like, oh, I love that. I'm like, oh, cool. Like,
it resonates with everyone in their own special way, Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Congrats on that. Congrats on everything, man. The show, the merch, everything you got going, because I can tell the brand has a lot behind it. And like I said, it has real passion behind it that is it's rooted in yourself and your love for music in general. And I think that's the most important part. And I definitely want to know, before we start wrapping up here, is there anything else coming for the rest of 2026 that you're really excited about? Obviously, you're probably going to be continuing the show and doing interviews, but is there anything else you want to kind of let people know that's going to be coming out soon?
Yeah, well, just, the same old Soup's Kitchen playlist is still coming out. I'll be doing some more interviews. I'm working on Marcus Murray. Marcus Murray is one of my favorite producers. That's one of the Instagram guys that I've seen out of nowhere. I don't know how I saw his music, but he's really dope. I'm working on Yacht Hunter. Like I'm working. I'm trying to get these people. So hopefully you'll see those people before the end of 2026.
Awesome. I know as like a one-man show too, it's kind of hard to get everything, organized in that way and doing it. So I can imagine it's a lot of legwork in the back end trying to book everybody and get it done. But it's exciting, man. I'm excited for you and what you got coming up here soon. So it's going to be awesome. And do you have any final words of wisdom for the listeners today? Anything you want to leave people with?
Don't give up on yourself. Like, I haven't made it all the way or anything, but just my little brand and just me just wanting to be different and give people an opportunity to discover things got me this far. And I'm hoping and praying that I will continue to make this thing as big as possible. So, like, don't give up. Like, just keep grinding.
Yeah.
Somebody's listening. You never know who's listening. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, man. If I hadn't been, checking out that episode, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So again, I got to thank YouTube algorithm for making this conversation happen. But Myke, I got to say again, man, thanks for taking time out today to join me and let us know more about you today. And I hope everybody goes and checks out your show and supports the playlist and gets some merch while they're at it. And keep doing your thing, man, for Northeast Ohio and beyond. I think you got a long way upward to go. And I think it's going to be very exciting to watch your journey from here. And we're connected on social media, so I'm sure I'm going to be seeing a lot of what you got coming up, man. So
I can't wait to really dive into your catalog. Like, just a couple of songs I heard, I was like, oh, this dude's vibe. It's like, I like this. Like, oh, this is great. So, I can't wait to really dive into it. Because I think the last thing that I saw you post, you were working with an artist.
It could have been anything, honestly. But, yeah.
you got a lot of music, but it's dope. Like, I think you just put out an instrumental. You just put out an instrumental piece. And then there was an artist that you was working with. And I was like, okay, let me kind of tap in, but I haven't really had a chance to really, really tap into your catalog. So I really got to dive into that.
Just want to say thank you for tuning in today. Be sure to hit that coffee link in the description of this episode if you'd like to donate any funds. And we'll see you back here with another new episode next week. As always, thank you for your support.